Hey, it's Drew and I'm taking you to the location where they've rewritten the rules on teardrop trailer longevity. Picture this. While most small camper trailers are lucky to make it past their first decade on the road, Camp In is crafting wooden teardrops with an astonishing projected lifespan of 40 to 50 years. And if you're a teardrop manufacturer and you're watching this, you better take notes.
Welcome to Camp In Travel Trailers. My name is Craig Edevold.
And I'm Kerry Winch.
We've been building our Camp In trailers now for 22 years. And
kind of getting to be considered kind of the grandfathers of the business a little bit. Let's go see how they're made. Everybody sees all the aluminum on a teardrop camper like ours with all of the aluminum. They assume it's an aluminum camper.
It's really a wooden trailer. And we start back here with the CNC machine. It's a computer-controlled router that we use to cut out the majority of the parts. We can load a full sheet of plywood on here, and then the machine chooses a tool, and the program runs and cuts the parts out.
The wood even is actually special made to our spec. It's all marine grade wood. We spec out the cores and the veneers and how they're glued together just so that we can maintain a consistent quality control.
You can see a couple trailers here that are in the process of being built. The closest one here is already assembled. It's ready to go to the varnishing area. This is one of the Raindrop, the 560 models. The whole trailer is made of either marine grade plywood or solid hardwood. There's a few softwood gussets to reinforce parts, but there's no particle board, no chipboard, no masonite. We have grooves built in the sides. Here is where we run all of our wiring. And then once the skin is put on here, it captivates it and gives a very clean look on the inside. All the major body joints are reinforced with a wood gusset. It makes for a very strong body, makes it very resistant to twisting and damage, and they don't come apart easy even in an accident. We can have a little fun with our wood shop too. The finished trailer, once the body's assembled, comes into this area and gets fully sanded, and then it goes into the next room, which is our finishing area. In here, the trailer is mounted on a rotisserie that allows us to pivot the trailer body and to move it into any position we need to in order to get the best quality finish on all surfaces. It allows us to varnish it inside and out. Every surface of the wood is varnished, top and bottom, inside the cabinets. And
we use a real high quality marine urethane finish that we bring in from Italy. One of the reasons we do that is because we're 100% formaldehyde free product and we have to go overseas to get our wood finishes.
One of the advantages of building it off the frame is we can actually undercoat the entire body, not just the visible areas. So the entire underside is undercoated before it's put on the frame, so even the areas on top of the frame are totally sealed.
The RV industry tends to build stuff that has a design obsolescence, so it's supposed to last so many years. And we build to marine standards, so we're shooting for 40 to 50 years of life with constant exposure to moisture and water. We have to constantly seal every bit of wood because people are going to use these in the most unimaginable hard ways that you can think of.
Yeah, we actually have one customer who has lived in his trailer full-time for 17 years and has actually wintered over in Minnesota and in Maine, but he spent a lot of time out on the West Coast on Washington, on an island in Washington State, which of course is a very humid environment. Even though the body panels and the aluminum are sealed, we want to seal the wood so if any water does happen to get in, even from inside with the condensation from your body and your breath, that condensation does not find a way into the wood.
Is it industry standard for teardrops to be varnished like this?
No.
No, a lot of them use pre-finished wood. They cut it to size, so the edges are all raw.
The body is its own strength. It's a monocoque body.
Yeah, as you can see, the whole trailer is being supported by 2 points and is doing just fine structurally that way. So the frame is basically added as a way to connect the axle and the tongue to the trailer. And here you see an example of the framework that goes under the trailer. Now it looks fairly basic, whereas a utility trailer might use, you might be hauling an engine block or a garden tractor or a pile of leaves. On a teardrop trailer, you're hauling a bed. So it doesn't need to be a huge, robust frame. And because our body is so strong, we just have a frame that basically connects the axle to the body and connects the body to the hitch. Yeah, most other travel trailers rely on the frame for all the support, and then they put a somewhat flimsy body on top of that frame. We kind of do the opposite. We put a rigid body on top of a frame that's allowed to flex.
Yeah, it actually articulates a bit because of its ability to twist left and right, but not bend this way. If you see here, you'll see these support rods. That's an upside down truss work that provides bending strength to the tongue of the trailer with very little weight.
So then once the body gets married to the frame, we start doing things like adding wiring into those side channels. We also add solid foam insulation to the roof. You want to have those cavities filled as fully as possible, because if moist air gets in there, it will condense on the aluminum skin, and then that's, in a lot of travel trailers, that's what causes the rot and the mold, and the damage is water that condenses inside the walls or inside the ceiling. On this one too, you can also see there's where the air conditioning goes, we have a drain pan that goes in here, and that drain pan collects any rainwater that happens to get in the vents. It also, any condensation that overflows in the air conditioner is collected there. But then there's a drain that runs through the trailer and out the bottom. As they progress along, we add on to the axle. Now, a couple things that we do differently. You notice we have stainless steel fenders. Put on stainless fenders because they never need painting. They're not going to chip, they're not going to rust, and they are a little pricey, but they're there for the life of the trailer.
And I heard they're bolted through, like you could stand on this, right?
Yep.
Oh, I could jump on it.
Yep, so, which we do all the time as part of the demonstration. So.
Yeah, they're 14 gauge stainless. They're not going anywhere. Although they will lose in a fight over one of those posts at the gas pump.
And many have.
And then inside the trailer, you notice there's these 2 holes in the floor. That's for the basement stairs. But we actually put in a storage tub in there that's made of plastic. And we use the same plastic that is used on the snowmobile skis. It's made for high impact and for cold weather impact. And that way they're going to hold up even if something goes under the trailer and hits that plastic tub. And that's where we put the spare tire, is in one of those storage compartments. So originally we came up with the raindrop, the 560 raindrop design to answer the question, what do you do with the kids? And so the raindrop actually has a bunk bed system that converts into a couch. We designed it so that you could sleep 2 adults and 2 children in a 10-foot long teardrop. So when we first started, we built just the 550 teardrop. But now, as you can see, looking around our production floor, the 560 raindrop has become our most popular model.
Probably about 75%, yeah.
So you can see they just slowly progress along, and the parts get added on as it goes down the line. So for years we didn't like using the standard door hinges, so we actually had to design our own door hinges and have them made custom for us, just so that we would get a hinge that we liked the look of, that was in keeping with the teardrop theme and the vintage look of the trailer.
What's the philosophy behind, what is it, 7 gallons of water?
8.5.
Yeah, what's the philosophy there?
So originally, we only had a 5-gallon water tank built in.
And no gray water tank.
And no gray water. And we got a request from a lot of customers. There's a lot of national parks and parks that require that if you have a water system, you need to have a way to collect the gray water. And so when we looked at that, we decided we would have to design our own water tanks. And I don't know if you can see it on here, but they're under the belly of the trailer. And those water tanks are 8.5 gallons each, and one of them is for the fresh water and one is for the gray water. And by collecting the gray water, then that's more environmentally friendly. You don't have, you're not attracting bears or insects.
Or, you know, we also offered the road shower units on the roof rack, and that's been real popular for somebody who just wants to carry an extra 10 gallons of water.
This was one of the first we put the composite tables in. We used to make them out of wood. We now use an all composite material.
So that actually became a standard feature.
And what that does is it allows us to leave these out in the rain without being affected by the water. So you've got a dining table on one side. You set up the cooler on the other side. We've got the fire extinguisher is out where it's accessible, should you have a fire in the kitchen. And then we take out the cooler and transfer it over to the cooler stand. Then we slide the stove out and the kitchen is set up.
Yep.
And your storage compartments underneath the mattress or underneath the countertop that have little storage compartment lids in there. And you can see all of the storage.
They're deep.
And then you're ready to roll. The couch has a few different modes. This is the standard couch mode with an elevated knee on the front here. You can drop it down flush, which essentially extends the bed. So if you're about 6'6" or taller, you can actually put your pillows up here and make the bed much longer. You can take the cushions and you can move them out of the way. Oh, sorry, probably getting in the way of the camera there. But you can flip this down and put your cushions back, and then you have a little bench area, raised bench that you can sit on. There's storage up in the front. That's the front bump on the raindrop, gives you added storage with AC and DC outlets. This is a very popular place that customers that have a CPAP, they put their CPAP machine in here, run the hose out here, and gives them a good access there. They can plug it into the AC or the DC. To set this up in the bunk bed, you move the cushions out of the way, grab this framework, bring it up, set it on the windowsill, and then there's a couple latches that lock it in place. Then we're going to flip up a headboard that separates the main mattress from the lower bunk. We've got a cushion there, a small pillow for that level. Then we put another cushion up in the upper level, like that, with its pillow. And then at night, when it's time to go to bed, we slide in this little, we call it the kid guard, and that prevents the kids from rolling out of bed at night. Good place for the kids. It's a good place for extra cargo. Maybe your dog can sleep on the lower bunk. Keep him out of your bed. Although dog owners know that that won't last for too long. They like to climb in with you.
And inside you see we have the air conditioning. There's a furnace option. There's a full stereo option in this one. To kind of show it off, there's a handicap access option. The one thing that a lot of people forget about teardrop trailers is because you are ground level and the galley's external, these teardrop trailers in general are handicap accessible. We have an extra 3-foot wide door which allows for easier access for everybody, but you know, for somebody who's transferring from a wheelchair, you got the handicap bars to transfer in.
When you sit down, you got something you can grab onto, and then when you move up into the couch, it can help you move up in, and you got plenty of headroom here and a little reading light.
Yep, the lights all switch to red at night for night vision control.
And you can turn it down and just have a little night light glowing faintly there.
Over here we have our 550 series, which is a 5x8. It's 8 foot long, has the same queen size mattress in it. All your cabinetry, air conditioning. This has the LP furnace in it, so you can camp off-grid in cold weather. And for people who are maybe doing some off-road adventures or something like this, is pretty ideally suited. It is actually built as an off-road trailer with a forged trailing arm spindle independent suspension system, flexible articulating frame, rigid monocoque body. They're really made to be off-road trailers. It's not really well represented. When people see it, they look at it and go, well, they see the retro styling and all of that.
We have a lot of customers that tow them anywhere that a stock SUV, even a stock Jeep Rubicon, these trailers will go.
If a wood teardrop is not quite the right fit for you, or the price of these trailers or the weight is just a little too high, you have to check out the Camp-In Road Towed. This lightweight composite budget trailer is just what the industry needed. I have two videos for you here on the left. One's a walkthrough tour and the other is a great tour of Lynn's camper that she modified on a budget. As usual, stay safe on the road and we will see you in the next episode.